12, which is the birth of Emperor Parikshit. So today we are going to continue with what happens after he's born. So the idea about Parikshit's birth is important. If you recollect, in the last chapter we had done the return of Sri Krishna to Dwarka. And then the sages had already told Sutta Goswami, can you please continue with the story? So he was continuing with the story of where we had left off, where Parikshit is concerned. If you remember, this whole thing started with Parikshit itself. So today we are going to go further than that. So we are doing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 12, verse 11. While thus being observed by the child, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, the super soul of everybody and the protector of the righteous, who stretches in all direction and who is unlimited by time and space, disappeared at once. Thereupon, when all the good signs of the zodiac gradually evolved, their heir apparent of Pandu, who would be exactly like him in prowess, took birth. So there is an Akashvani that was happening, where basically the birth is going to happen. The Brahmastra that was there was released by Ashwatthama. It's the background of the stories, I hope you remember. And that Brahmastra has been neutralized and Uttara's womb has been put back in order. Everything is now going well. And the Lord, who had taken this form, a tiny form, who had entered the womb of Uttara, had gone and rectified the entire radiation that might have come in. So you can imagine how this thing would have seemed. So, while being observed by the child, who is observing? Parikshit is watching Sri Krishna in the womb. He has come as a very tiny entity over there and he is fighting those radiations and removing them from there. So he is the super soul and the protector of the righteous. That means he is the one who looks after the dharma. He is the one who upholds the dharma. Now, the part of dharma is something which is to be considered when we look at the dharma from the perspective of Mahabharata. You will find that Sri Krishna fought from the side of the dharma itself. Whereas the Kauravas and the entire people connected with Kauravas, they were fighting from the adharmic side. But this is a dharma associated during those times. It's not necessarily that may continue. I hope you get the point. It's a dynamic process where things happen in this world. Every time when the dharma has to be upheld, the part which is taken up by the Lord, he will only appear when there appears to be an anomaly in the system, not otherwise. I hope you get the point. It's only when this anomaly appears that Sri Krishna will appear in some form or the other. In the previous avatars, which we will be doing in this same scripture in the future, because we have just started with Canto 1, there is going to be the Matsya avatar and various other avatars that come along, including Parshuram. Now, all these avatars which are going to come, their dharma is different. See, when Sri Krishna appears as, let us say, the fish, at that time there is a thing which needs to be done. As a tortoise, he is supposed to do something different. I hope you are getting the point. He has to lift the earth. Okay? The demons are different. Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashyap and so on and so forth. Ravana during some other times. So all these are different. Lifting the earth is one issue. Rescuing Sita Maiya is another issue. I hope you get the point. Every time he upholds dharma in a different fashion. And this is what we need to understand. The dharma which is actually accepted as one and the same is not one and the same. It differs from yuga to yuga. Every yuga the dharma differs. Today we are in the Kali Yuga. And the last avatar is supposed to come somewhere ahead of us. That will also be covered in this scripture. That is called the Kalki avatar. The Kalki avatar is the closing down ceremony kind of a thing. We have to shut the whole thing down. Alright? And then the new yuga starts all over again. So it is a switch over. And there the avatar has to perform certain other actions. Alright? I hope you get the point. Here in this case, he is called the protector of the righteous. Alright? Who stretches in all directions and who is unlimited by time and space, disappeared at once. You see, when we were doing the Tripura Rahasyam, I have given you all an understanding how we pray to God. Right? I have very clearly told you we pray in front, at the back, at the top, at the bottom, at the right and the left, everywhere. There are many directions. Why? Why do we pray to God in that fashion? Even in the temple, we do a pradakshana. Okay? Or if there is no place for pradakshana, because some temples are very small, at that time you go around yourself, isn't it? That is how you do. What does it mean? You are praying to God because as if you are standing inside that whole thing. Did you get the point? Please do not think that there is some entity standing in front of you. That is why when Parshuram and Dattatreya are talking about praying, what is he saying? He is saying in front, at the back, and all the gods are also saying the same thing. Here also it is saying the same thing. He is not controlled by any time and space. So there is nothing called time or space which is putting any restrictions on Sri Krishna. He can appear whenever he wants to, wherever he wants to, whichever way he feels like. I hope you get the point. So there is nothing called a restriction that, only he has to come and this time to this time, and no. You cannot be having age also as a factor. When I met my Gurudev, he was a 12 and a 13, that teenage kind of a boy. Do you think Dattatreya is a teenager? No. I can't even say that he is a teenager because he is ancient. But when he appears in whichever age that he feels like. And that was very nice. He appeals to you, to your own feelings. So when God appears, he is trying to justify, you will want to justify the way in which you look at him, isn't it? Think about it. We restrict God in the form of a human being. Not necessary. He need not be a human being. He can take any form he feels like. He's taken so many avatars. He's become a short man also, isn't it? The Bali Maharaj's story is there, where he has taken a very small avatar. And then he has become very big also. In the Mahabharata, there is a story in the Bhagavad Gita where he has taken the Virat Swarup. Sometimes he takes a 4-arm form, sometimes he takes a 2-arm form. So how can we restrict God in saying that, this is the form what you have to take? Not necessary. I hope you get this point. Then the next thing which happens, he goes away from there. Thereupon, when all the good signs of the zodiac gradually evolved, the heir apparent of Pandu, who would be exactly like him in prowess, took birth. Now, today when you are seeing the newspapers or the news that is there, are they saying something very peculiar? They are saying the alignment of all the planets is going to be in one line. Did you see that? It's mentioned, no? It's a unique phenomena in this world today. Not today, but it is there. So you can observe this phenomena on the earth. And those who follow me in the children's class, I told you about the king who was sitting on the banks of the river. And he saw on the back of the tortoise, those patterns, which became itching, itching or whatever you call it. So it became that. So observing the patterns. Now I want you to think very carefully when I am saying these words. Think about it like this. There is an ancient man. A child is born in his house. He doesn't have a calendar, isn't it? That time who will have a calendar? There were no numbers and there were no letters also. Agreed? He didn't know that it was 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. There was no ancient times. So he had no idea about numbers. He had no idea about letters also, A, B, C, D like we have today. Did he have? No. So how did he communicate? Maybe by sign language or something like that. Right? So, but how does he remember the dates? The dates are remembered by the night sky. The night sky is the one. In olden times, there were no blazing fires or lights like we have today, LED lamps all over the place. So the sky was pitch dark. Like when you went out in the night, it was pitch dark. You could actually see the heavens. Heavens means the sky above. When the child was born, could he have identified where the sun was, where the moon was, where Venus was Jupiter was? Can he say this correctly? So with observation skills, he was able to correctly say on this date when this position was like this. Right? So this star was over here. That star was over there. And then he had divided the entire sky above into patterns. Isn't it the same thing when you see on the back of the tortoise the way in which the patterns are drawn? I hope you get the point. When you observe the patterns, you will understand how it is. Now, why is this important? All those small children who are attending my class today, who are big in age, by the way, elderly small children are attending my class. If I have to ask you, how will they know what is there in the stars? How will they know? That's a question you have to ask yourself. How does anybody know what is there in the stars? So that is a question you have to ask yourself and answer it. So in a similar manner, the stars above were having a pattern. So now, when the child is born, you look up and then you see a pattern, right? But what are the scriptures saying? The scriptures are saying that this child is born when the patterns are already set. So it is not the child is born and then you see the patterns. It is the pattern is set and the child is born. See the difference between these two lines? I hope you get the point. It's only when the stars take a particular position, that time the event will occur. Did you get it? So the birth of the Lord or very important personas happens when there is a certain pattern which falls in place. When today we are celebrating Mahashivratri, is it a particular day? Right? It is mentioned. It has a particular day. When we say Krishna Janmashtami, Can you see what we are saying? Janma, Krishna Janma is one Ashtami. Ashtami. Got it? So, Krishna Janmashtami, so because the Ashtami was to take place, that is why birth of Krishna is scheduled. Did you see the other way around? So, everything is predetermined, whereas the star systems and things like that are concerned. Why is astrology a science which people follow? It is not that when you were born, the stars were like that. No, the stars were there and then you were born. Common sense will tell you. Common sense will tell you. Are you before the stars or the stars are before you? The stars are always before you, isn't it? So the dates are already set there. The star positions are already set there. It is you who is born on that particular day. So always remember this. So here the question is this, where therefore, thereupon, when all the good signs of the zodiac gradually evolved, the heir apparent of Pandu would be exactly like him in prowess to birth. It is giving you a hint of how people are born. The auspicious signs have to first exist. The birth is scheduled on that auspicious signs. So great personalities, very, very great personalities are born on the signs when there is an auspicious event. Got it? In the skies, not the other way around. People may say, again, there is a question which everybody may have. They may say, why is it that our solar system has to be taken into account? We are a part of the Milky Galaxy, Milky Way galaxy. Well, is the moon influencing the earth through its power of gravity and other things, or no? You know that, isn't it? It is not that the waves come and then the moon is coming in a particular position. No, the moon's gravitational pull is giving the water the rise in the levels, isn't it? I hope you are getting the point. The sun in our system is actually keeping our stars, our own planets in motion. You have seen that. Okay. Have you seen those two laws? Centrifugal force, centripetal force is there? Yes or no? Most of you are looking blank. You have forgotten your little science which you learnt in school. This is science in school. The centripetal force and the centrifugal force is the one which is keeping us in that particular orbit. It's an elliptical orbit. So it keeps us in that particular motion. So because we are under the power of these motions, we take the closest of the planets and the stars into account for the purpose of understanding the birth and what is going to happen in the future. It is not that astrology is wrong. It is the interpretation which is wrong. You may go to a great astrologer, and if the person doesn't get his calculations and other things correct, it is wrong. But when you have sages who are astrologers, then they know correct prediction of everything. So please understand, today there are no sages. There are only people interested in minting money. Sages would never take any money. Even during the birth of Sri Krishna and his naming ceremony, do you remember? The sage had visited him, the parents. Do you remember? The name Krishna was also given by him. What was his name? Find out. So do you get this point? So he is known for doing these ephemeral charts, predicting things and making a grand idea about what is going to be. Gargamuni. Yes, you are right about it. So this is the way in which it happens. So next time, only if you have a sage of the Gargamuni, then only you can say it is right. If you have some ordinary person who is an astrologer from some place trying to give you answers, it may not be right. So don't try to go for astrology, palmistry and all those kind of things. Alright? It's something which comes from that Muni itself. So I hope you get this whole verse clear in your mind. The position of the stars have to be particular. Stars means planets also. Okay, so when I say stars, don't just say, oh, Guruji was saying stars. No, stars, planets, everything, heavenly bodies. So at that time, Parikshit was born in this dynasty. So, next verse 13, King Yudhishthir, who was very satisfied with the birth of Maharaj Parikshit, had the purificatory process of birth performed. Learned Brahmins, headed by Dhaumya and Kripa, recited auspicious hymns. Now, what are these ceremonies? King Yudhishthir was very, very happy at the time of the birth of Parikshit. Okay? He is the emperor there, correct? Now, purificatory process of birth was performed. Now, when it is said purificatory process, what is the purificatory process? There are multiple purificatory processes that happen. Okay? I will give you one or two for your understanding purpose. Okay? First thing that happens is the cutting off of the umbilical cord. Tying it up for the child, isn't it? And just ensuring that the child is cleaned up thoroughly. He has been floating in a liquid till that time, right? The liquid placenta, whatever that is there, it is there. Now imagine that particular liquid is having so much of things in it. Whatever the dirt that is there is also floating around. There are lots of things happening to the child. I hope you are getting the point clear. Purification is when we clean up the whole mess. A woman also has to undergo 40 days of whatever that she has to undergo. 40, 45, whatever. Right? So that is also a part of the deal. It is a purification process. The body is rid of all the things which are not required. For a child also, you will find that the child has to be purified. From water, imagine he is like a watery creature now. He is Aquaman. And from Aquaman he is coming on earth. So his breathing process has to start, isn't it? So this process itself is a very, very beautiful thing. From no air, the air which is only his mother is providing, to that his own. All his organs have to start functioning. And not necessary that his organs have to function immediately. Some organs take time. Like the flora and the fauna in the stomach of the child was 100% his mother's flora and the fauna, isn't it? Yes or no? Until he is having milk, the flora and the fauna development is still from the mother's side only. How many of you know that he is given a certain food to eat and something is put in his mouth when he is born? You know that, no? So these are the things which are supposed to be done. And then there is a naming ceremony. They remove the hair also, the removal of hair ceremony. In Marathi we call it zawal. I don't know what they call it in other language. But the removal of the hair so that the hair grows properly. Have you seen the daulas are there performing the actions? Daulas are the ladies who help in childbirth. And then there are others who come after that. They are those ladies who will help in massaging and various other things. Simple thing I will tell you. If it is a girl, have you seen the amount of massage they will do to their hands and legs and their body? I want you to think. In India, the process is so rigorous, so rigorous. They will be just doing it like this, like this. And you will wonder one day the person will kill my baby. No, they are very experts in those fields. In India, the process is done because they don't want the growth of hair on the child's body. Otherwise, see, like the men have this hair, no? Body hair. If women also have long hair growth, they will have to go for some therapy later on in life, isn't it? So they have to do those processes. These processes are important. Got it or no? Then for the production of milk also certain things have to be eaten. Right? So these are processes which are so important to human beings. Now if you are alone, now you have gone abroad with your wife, let us say, and you are giving birth to a child. The only person you are visiting is the maternity home. Have you done anything for the child and the lady? If you have not done, they have missed out on the entire process. If you are still feeding a child 2 years later, the breast milk is not good. Why? Because the flora and the fauna has to develop within the child. If it doesn't develop, there is a massive problem that is going to happen in the future. The child will not experience it then. 10 years, 20 years, 30, 40. When they are 30 and 40, they are going to have a miserable life because their flora and fauna never came up in their time. There are certain activities that need to be done at a specific period in time. Don't be an ass and try to think that, oh yeah, I can only go to the hospital and do this. No. No. That is why you will find that most of these religious type of people, they follow this very rigorously. Have you noticed it? The so-called religious, when you say, this person is very religious, he is following exactly as per, well, there is a need for it. Science doesn't understand it. Most of the things science doesn't understand. So these are the important things. So in a similar manner, the purificatory process of birth is performed. Then, this is what I told, physical body. Now let us come to the mental body of the child and the mother. The mental body of the child has to be developed very well. Okay? See, when we say the person is performing incantations. See, incantations means certain words are being said. When we say Om, there is a certain incantation. We are saying certain words. Those words are triggering some process in the subtle body of the child. How many of you know this? Yesterday only I was teaching you all, the sound creates subtle impact in the body. Did I not tell you all this? The physical is different, the mental is different. So when the sound is there, the triggers are in the mental region. Basically, the second body, which is called the subtle body reactions, are happening. When these Panditjis who come, the Brahmanas, when they come, they say auspicious hymns. See, it is written over here. Learned Brahmanas, headed by Daumya Muni and Kripa, recited auspicious hymns. Have you done it? Ask yourself this question. Have you done it? If you want the child's mental development to happen, then these are the important things. These incantations are extremely important. You know what we do to a child? Okay? When you have a baby, what do? Earlier on in olden times, they will put on one tape recorder or they will put on TV. Baba black sheep, have you any wool? Yes sir, yes sir. What is that? What is this Jack and Jill? What is this Baba black sheep? Is that an incantation or what? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. What is this A, B, C, D, E, F, G? That is not incantations. It's not going to trigger the mental development of the child. He will only know the words. Today, if I ask you, what does Baba Black Sheep mean? You will not know because your mother and father are the idiots in your life who put on these things. I hope you get the point. When these incantations are going on, the development of the mental faculty of the child is triggered. He grows mentally. So kindly don't discount these things. And these are mantras and various things, the prayers and all that. They have certain values. They are triggers in the system. I can't teach you all everything. But every letter in the alphabet is a goddess. The triggers are important. These Rishi Munis, the Gurukul system. You understand what I'm talking about? Little brains working, tick, 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 tick. In the Gurukul system, whether it is Sri Ram or Sri Krishna or whoever concerned, they were always exposed to these kind of things. And because they were exposed to these kind of things, their mental faculties developed in a different manner. Alright? So, these Rishi Munis are Daumya Rishi, Kripa and others. They recited auspicious hymns. Again, the name is chosen in a certain manner. In India, do we go and we search names for the names on the internet? Huh? All idiotic names people are selecting. See the names today. They have zero value as far as all these film stars and actors and actresses and all this young generation. They don't even have the brains to select the right name. Why do they select these names? Today, there is something, an important day, correct? Shivratri, we call it Mahashivratri. Now the moment I change his name to some other, instead of saying Shiv, I say Shivi or Shiva or Shiv or something like that. An addition of one matra. One line extra. Changes Shiva to Shivi. From male he becomes female. That is Parvati's name. That is Shivji's name, and this is Parvati's name. So please don't keep names which have zero value for your children. What do you think you are doing? You are invoking the wrong kind of thing in them. And because you have kept the name like this, tomorrow these males will turn out into females. Mom, I want to do this. Is it okay with you? You seen this entire wokeism that has happened? The wokeism comes into the picture just because you have first named the child wrongly. Without taking into consideration anything, you are following some nonsense from the current. Oh, what is your child's name? My child's name is XYZ. X. My child's name is X. Please don't do this kind of a mistake. Alright? The child's name has to be correct. He has to be addressed correctly. Otherwise, from a boy he will become a girl, and from a girl he will become something else, and from something else he will become something else only. Today, Elon Musk and all these people are having problems with their children. For what reason? I hope you get the point. In olden times, they would name their children with the names of all the sages and the saints. Okay? Peter, Paul and all that. Now what they are naming? X, Y, Z. That is not correct. So naming ceremony is important. How you perform the ceremony is important. What incantations and what different hymns have to be said is important. You can't just say whatever comes to your mind. Please, don't do that. The learned Brahmanas, 15, who were very satisfied with the charities of the king, addressed him as a chief amongst the Purus and informed him that his son was certainly in the line of the descent from the Purus. These great sages who had come when the child was born and the naming ceremony was going to happen. Or did I miss one verse? The page got missed out maybe. Okay, we'll do the 14th verse. Sorry, verse number 14. Upon the birth of a son, the king, who knew how, where and when charity should be given, gave gold, land, village, elephants, horses and good food grains to the Brahmanas. Now when your child was born, how many people were given this? Ask yourself this question. When you were born, how many people were given something? You see, the whole point of it all is, when you were born, your parents were so-called modern parents. No Brahmana was called. No people were given any food to eat. No charity was done. Was it done? You should go and ask your parents. I said, please ask them. Then you will understand why you are going through your hell in life. You need the Ashirvad, the blessings of all these great people. If you do not have the blessings, if you do not have those incantations, you do not have those ceremonies, and these things have not been given, it is a big problem. When I was born, I told you, the entire staff, thousands of people were given clothes. Holiday was given to them. It was a big ceremony. People were called. So all these things happened when this body was born. Okay? All these were mine workers and other workers that were there who were working with them. So They were given so much. It's a different story. Just a few things have to be given around. It's an auspicious occasion. So gold, you can give any of these things. You can give gold. You can bequeath land. You can give villages if you want to. Elephants, horses, good food grains. Now you may not be a king. Nobody says you are a king today. Okay? No kings. But at least you can feed a few people. You give them some money. Or no? It has to be done. So when you gave birth to your children, you were such a conjuice person, you didn't even want to give anybody anything. It is important to give. And this is very important. The Brahmanas have to be given all these things. Alright? So the learned Brahmanas who were satisfied with the charities of the king addressed him as a chief amongst the Purus and informed him that his son was certainly in the line of the descent from the Purus. So naturally you require an heir. So these people over there who were the Brahmanas, first and foremost, they were very happy they got something. Some person got cows, elephants, this, that, depending on how they are. If you give a Brahmana a cow and he doesn't have even, thing to feed the cow, then there is no point in giving him that. Then you give him money. See, please understand one thing. Charity has to be done in a certain manner. You know what people do for the sake of charity? They will say, okay, let us give something to this person. What? What thing to the person? Let us give chocolates. Let us give fruits. Let us give this. Let us give that. A sari which has come from somewhere, you give it on. Pass it off. Some dhoti and kurta that has come from somewhere. I don't wear dhoti kurta. You see, I wear only t-shirt. I wear only shirt and pant. So that idiots gave me dhoti kurta, so I'll give it to this fellow. We pass on our things like this. Don't do that. What is the requirement of that Brahmana? If that Brahmana is a rich Brahmana, then you give him an elephant and all that, that is a different story. You see, recently one temple in Karnataka, they lost their elephant. The elephant died, poor thing. He was there for 30, 40 years, God knows how many years. He died suddenly. So these people are from the west of Karnataka. So they requested this person, can you give us an elephant? Now today's day and age, elephant will be costing them lakhs or crores of rupees, I think. I don't know how much an elephant, to buy an elephant will cost. And to maintain it also is difficult, isn't it? You need a mahout, you need to feed it, you need to give it exercise, you need to give it medicines and this and that, and maintaining an elephant was very difficult. So they went to this actor. There is an actor over there. His name is Sunil Shetty. So they asked him for donation. This fellow gave them a mechanical elephant. You know what a mechanical elephant is, no? There is a shop over here. Sudarshan Silks is there. They have one mechanical elephant outside their door. It doesn't need feeding. It doesn't need to go for poop. It doesn't need one mahout. It doesn't need anything. It only needs one switch. Tick tock, like that. You put on that electrical switch and the elephant will do like this, like this, like this, like this. It will flap his ears. It's a God's place. You're giving a mechanical elephant. So you are saving on all these other things, is it? So that is not a gift that needs to be given. God is not interested in your mechanical elephant. Right? So what is the right kind of charity that you can do? Simply, if you want to give 30, 40, 50 lakh rupees for one stupid mechanical elephant, why not give it in cash so that the temple will do something about it? Maybe they will feed somebody. Maybe somebody will donate one real elephant. Real elephant. In Kerala is there down there. We have a lot of elephants over there. They go for shooting to Thailand, no? Every now and then this fellow goes to Thailand for shooting. Get one elephant from there. Fly it in over here. They have a lot of elephants over there. So I hope you get the point. Charity means that which the Brahmana requires, not what you feel like. Don't give what you feel like. If you go to the temple, ask them the question. They will themselves tell you. If you give food for 50 Brahmanas, you can give us this donation. We will give you the certificate also. So they will give one certificate also or no? So that temple will do this. In a similar manner, the suggestion is this. So give those things which the Brahmanas are going to be pleased with. Don't give nonsensical stuff. Got it or no? So next time, please, if you are donating anything to charity, don't have to give them some mechanical elephant, okay? You understand what I mean by mechanical elephant? A useless piece of junk. That mechanical elephant in 6 months' time, it is going to be lying outside, the motor is going to go off and they will throw it in the dustbin. What is the point in giving 50 lakh or 1 crore worth of mechanical elephant? Don't give this kind of stupid things. A real elephant will be prayed by everybody. Everybody comes over there. Rajma, when she visits some temple, first thing she will see one elephant, she will tell me, I want 100 rupees. She will take 100 rupees and give to that elephant. That elephant will do tong on top of her head. And I hope you get the point. This is how it is. So don't give whatever you feel like as a charity. See, if you go to Christianity, they are very clear. Don't give all this nonsense. Give money. Okay? Even in the Muslims also, it's the same thing. Give money. Give them as a charity in the form of money. Don't keep on giving nonsensical stuff to people. Especially Brahmins. Alright? So, they said that he is a great person who is born. Because they saw the charts and all that. And he is fit to be a king. Got it? So we have come to the end of verse 15. We will stop over here.
Recording stopped.